Chip Kelly is back in the NFL. He was at UCLA for a long time. That's like the only team I root for. I went to UCLA, and I really don't like Chip Kelly. So I couldn't even root for my team. Then he left. UCLA football sucks now, so nothing really to root for. Went to Ohio State, another team that no one really likes. He's rebranded himself as an offensive coordinator because I guess even he understands that he's not exactly a leader of men, children, anyone. Ducklings, not a leader. But as an offensive coordinator, he's still not good. That's the thing. And now he's with the Raiders. As an offensive coordinator in college, on a team like Ohio State that just pays their players a lot of money and has a bunch of 5-star recruits, he seems to be good enough, considering he just won a national title. That's what they call it. But in the NFL, we've seen him before. What is the Chip Kelly experience? Unless he's learned something and changed, which I don't think he has. The Chip Kelly experience is you don't huddle. You race the line of scrimmage to run the same 4 plays and go 3 and out. His running game, he's a run-first coach, and he's got the full RPO package, which I'm sure is why Pete Carroll wanted him, because he's looking around the league and saying, I don't see any Kyle Shanahan schemes in the Final Four, but I do see a lot of zone read RPO schemes, particularly in the Super Bowl. Both teams, Andy Reid, Nick Sirianni, do a lot of that stuff. So he's trying to go where the league is going, and I guess technically Chip Kelly represents that philosophy, scheme, approach to offensive football. Problem is he's a terrible coach. And when it comes to passing the ball, his scheme is like freaking Dick and Jane. I mean, there's nothing sophisticated about it. So we've seen him before. He usually is pretty good in the first quarter, maybe the first half. Then the other team gets a feel for the pace of their offense and how freaking simplified everything is, and they shut it down in the second half, and he loses. So I do think it's interesting, though, from the Raiders' perspective. That's an awful organization that doesn't really have options. They have to bring in people like Pete Carroll and Chip Kelly, but I'm curious to see what they do. Are they going to bring in a mobile quarterback? Are they going to try to be sort of like is Pete Carroll trying to recreate Washington, right? Dan Quinn was his defensive coordinator. They're similar coaches with similar personalities and schemes. Maybe Pete Carroll's looking at Dan Quinn thinking, man, everyone left him for dead. No one thought he'd have a second act. Maybe if I get an offensive coordinator who's similar to Cliff Kingsbury, I can be successful on the Raiders. And maybe he sees Chip Kelly as being similar to Cliff Kingsbury. I never thought anything of Cliff Kingsbury before this year. But if the Raiders think that they can sign Chip Kelly and then draft Shedeur Sanders, I don't think that's going to be – it's not exactly the same thing as drafting Jaden Daniels. So, and also the thing with Chip Kelly, does he even like mobile quarterbacks? That's my question. He wanted Nick Foles. He wanted Blaine Gabbert. He wanted Will Howard and Kyle McCord at Ohio State. Does he want mobile quarterback? I don't know. I'm curious to see what the Raiders do over there, because that team is a dumpster fire. All day, every day, Kim says, so you think this is a good team? Rich Gravy was on a roll. I didn't want to correct him, but I'm kind of with you all day, every Kim. I don't think this team is particularly good. They were in the Super Bowl a year ago, and now this team is broken down, busted.